Interior spaces come in all shapes and sizes, from your own living room or kitchen to the stage of a school auditorium. What do these areas have in common? They all require the service of a durable floor. Think about it. Every room has walls, a ceiling, and a floor. Of these three surfaces, it's the floor that's subjected to persistent wear. Certainly, selecting the right flooring material is an important step in the building process. Properly installed and maintained, Southern Pine flooring products meet the challenges of the most demanding applications. Featuring a distinctive grain, the beauty of a Southern Pine floor is a feature well known to designers, builders, and homeowners. This program will show you what's involved in the installation process of 1x4 strip flooring. We will cover selecting Southern Pine flooring, the tools and other materials required, preparing the subfloor moisture barrier, installing a nailing base, nailing the floor in place, sanding it to an even surface, finishing the floor, and finally, how to properly take care of it. Throughout the process, you'll notice many similarities to installing hardwood flooring. You'll also note some important differences. Along the way, we'll refer to this helpful booklet, A Guide to Southern Pine Flooring, also available from the Southern Pine Council. So let's get started. First, let's select our product. Southern Pine tongue and groove flooring is typically manufactured to a nominal size of 1x4 inches. Finished thickness is actually 3/4 inch, and the actual width 3 3/8 inches. Depending on where it's cut from the log, two distinct grain patterns will result: flat grain and vertical grain. Flat grain material is more widely available. Notice that the annual growth rings are parallel to the wearing surface. Vertical grain flooring is a premium material suitable for high traffic and commercial applications. Growth rings are perpendicular to the surface. The choice of grain pattern will be noticeable in the final floor. Short pieces of either grain pattern can be finger jointed, creating a totally different look. Anyone involved with wood flooring knows the importance of controlling moisture. You'll be hearing that word a lot. Wood products expand and contract to equalize themselves to surrounding conditions due to seasonal heating and cooling changes in temperature and humidity. During manufacture, stress relief is cut into the back of flooring strips to minimize the effects of ambient seasonal changes. This cut can be a hollow back, a wide, shallow groove, or a series of thin, deeper grooves can be cut into the back. These cuts run the length of the piece. Next, let's review the tools and other materials needed to install Southern Pine flooring over a concrete slab. 3/4 inch plywood for the nailing base, 15-pound roofing felt, cut-back mastic adhesive, polyethylene sheeting, 6 mil thickness is preferred, plus suitable flooring nails. For starters, the concrete slab must be clean and free of oils. Existing moldings and trim are removed. It's also necessary to remove all interior doors within the work area. The first objective of any wood flooring installation is to create a moisture barrier between the concrete slab and the flooring material. Working together, the mastic and the 6 mil polyethylene provide a suitable barrier. Begin by pre-cutting the polyethylene to roughly fit the area to receive flooring. Pull half the sheet back and begin troweling an even layer of cut-back mastic adhesive, making sure the mastic reaches all edges and into corners. When half the room is covered, walk the plastic sheet into place and repeat the process for the remaining half. Next, a layer of 3/4 inch plywood is positioned over the polyethylene. At all walls, be sure to allow a gap of 3/4 inch. Between panels, allow a gap of between 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Arranging the plywood panels properly will assure a solid nailing base for the finished floor. Some installers prefer to position the plywood sections diagonally across the floor, offsetting plywood joints with floor nailing. All panels are securely anchored to the slab. Several types of anchors are available to do this job. Here, we're using 2-inch split drive anchors. The nailing base is now securely in place. So far, our moisture barrier includes 3 layers: the mastic, the 6mm polyethylene, and a suitable nailing base, in this case 3/4-inch plywood. There are alternative methods for preparing a flooring nailing base. Some flooring installers prefer a method of preparing a slab using screeds. Whichever method is used, the same objective is accomplished: the installation of a moisture barrier and a suitable nailing base. The plywood nailing base can also be installed over wood floor joists, which may be the case in second-story installations. Here, panels are placed perpendicular to the direction of joists, with a gap of 1/8 inch between panels. All seams must occur over a joist. Secure panels in place using 6D screws or ring shank nails. Now that the subfloor nailing base is in place, delivery of the flooring material can occur. Once, 2 other key conditions are also met. For new construction, the building must be fully enclosed with all doors and windows installed, and the heating-cooling system must be operational. Again, the key consideration during this phase of the installation process is moisture control. Across the country, the average moisture content of wood products for interior uses will vary by region. This average moisture content will vary from season to season as well. It's recommended that flooring be stacked in each room to receive flooring. Acclimating a southern pine floor allows time for the wood to adjust itself dimensionally, equalizing itself to a state where it neither absorbs nor evaporates water vapor. Layers of flooring are separated by clean, dry spacer sticks to promote air circulation through the stack. For southern pine flooring, this all-important acclimation period can take from 5 to 14 days. After 5 days, daily checks with a moisture meter can determine when the material has equalized to the surrounding conditions. A reasonable goal would be to reach a moisture content between 6% and 12%. Keep a record of all readings. When day-to-day readings are consistent, the flooring is neither gaining nor losing moisture. Acclimation is complete. At this point, we're almost ready to begin nailing the floor in place. One more component of the moisture barrier is required. The final layer is the roofing felt. This layer of felt paper also helps reduce squeaking in the finished floor. Between rows, overlap at least 4 inches. Trim the edges of the felt as closely as possible. In final preparation for laying the flooring, trim door jambs at thresholds. Typically, wood flooring is installed to run parallel to the room's longest dimension. This wall marks the location of the starter strip of flooring. Snap a chalk line a distance from the wall equal to the width of one strip of flooring plus 1/2 inch. This 1/2 inch gap will become an expansion space for the floor. It will be later concealed by replacing the molding. Position the starter strip with the tongue facing away from the wall. Face nail it in place using 6D or 8D finishing nails, 1 inch from the tongue edge. All nailing should be spaced 8 to 10 inches apart. Double nail 1 to 3 inches from the ends. Loosely lay the next 6 or 7 rows of flooring, arranging them randomly so that the ends do not align. Do not use strips shorter than 6 inches. Nail and countersink the first 3 rows, clearing the starter strip for use of a power nailer. Insert each strip groove to tongue. Using the proper number of nails correctly spaced will reduce the likelihood of floor squeaks. It may be necessary to rip the last row of flooring at the wall. Be sure to leave a 1/2 inch gap at all walls. If your flooring job stretches through several rooms, some advanced planning is critical. Consult the flooring layout plan on page 9 of the flooring guide. To extend flooring around walls or partitions, refer to Figure 10. The direction of laying the flooring can be reversed using a spline. Finishing the new Southern Pine floor includes a series of carefully planned steps: sanding, screening, and application of a stain or sealer. Before you begin, countersink and fill any exposed nail heads. Carefully inspect the floor for any imperfections or obstructions. All flooring installers have perfected their own sanding techniques, but the basic process is the same. Using a belt sander, a series of cuts will be made the length of the floor. Working in the same direction as the flooring, sand 2/3 of the room. After completing the entire room width, turn around and sand the remaining area. The entire sanding operation should remove no more than 1/32 inch of wood from the floor surface. The objective is to create a smooth surface to accept an attractive finish. Where the belt sander won't reach, an edge sander is used, along baseboards and in corners and closets. Next, screening the floor blends the surface cuts made by the belt sander and edge sander. Again, techniques vary, but a series of screens, starting with a coarse screen, then graduating to medium and fine screens, produces optimum results. To reach in closets and along baseboards, a smaller disc sander is handy. In corners, using a 1.5 inch scraping blade will do the job. When all sanding and screening is completed, carefully inspect the floor for surface evenness, making sure the fine grit screens have blended all traces of the coarser sanding cuts. Vacuum all room surfaces to remove dust. It's essential that the room be dust-free before applying any type of finish to the floor. A finish on the floor does two things. It both protects the floor and provides a decorative surface. You'll need a short list of supplies for this important step. Here we're using an oil-based polyurethane applied using a lamb's wool pad and a 6-inch china brush. Typically, the stain's color and a sealer's sheen will affect the degree to which dirt and grit are visible and ultimately determine how frequently the floor appears to need cleaning. Stains are available in a wide range of colors. A lighter floor coloring will hide dust better. It may also enhance room size. A room appears larger and brighter. Darker colors of finishes tend to hide gouges and the telltale evidence of heel marks and furniture scratches. A dark floor color may make a room appear smaller than lighter colors. Clear polyurethane sealers are perhaps the most popular group of finishes for wood flooring. These sealers offer excellent resistance to wear, providing a durable surface for high-traffic areas such as hallways, kitchens, and family rooms. Starting in a far corner, a 6-inch brush is used to apply the polyurethane to all edges of the floor. Maintain a wet edge, feathering overlaps. Using a lamb's wool pad, the finish is applied in the same direction as the flooring. Overlap new runs about 3 inches. Steps are taken to assure an even coat. An important finishing tip: avoid all unnecessary contact with the floor. Water, perspiration, even hand and knee imprints cannot be penetrated by the finish. Allow the first coat of polyurethane to dry overnight. Buff with a fine 120 grit screen and apply a second coat. Buffing between coats will conceal brushstrokes and overlaps. Allow time for thorough drying. Buff once more, then apply a final third coat. Once all surfaces are completely dry, replace all moldings, doors, and trim. The result is impressive. A beautiful Southern Pine floor, and it's easy to keep it looking that way. With proper care of the finish, a Southern Pine floor is easily maintained and will keep its new look for many years. With time, you may first notice small separations between flooring strips. This is normal, a result of the seasonal expansion and contraction your floor is constantly undergoing. In strip floors, separations up to the thickness of a dime are normal. Gaps found during dry winter months close and disappear in spring. Refer to page 14 of the flooring guide for more details about floorboard separation. Regular use of a dust mop can collect dirt and grit, reducing scratches. For cleaning the floor, avoid using just water. Water causes wood to expand. For general cleaning, a solution of 1/4 cup vinegar to 4 cups warm water can be used to dampen a clean cloth or mop. Use a second cloth or a dry mop to wipe the floor dry. Wipe spills promptly with a dry cloth. Never use a beater bar vacuum on a wood floor. At entry doors, a mat is useful, but never use rubber-backed mats. Use floor protectors beneath furniture and area rugs in high traffic lanes. Properly installed and cared for, a Southern Pine floor can provide many years of service. Good luck with your next flooring project. Be sure to select the product that has beautified interiors for many years. Southern Pine. To obtain a copy of a guide to Southern Pine flooring, contact the Southern Pine Council.